Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Oh my God, Blake is on another level today.
Oh,
So instead of doing our normal intro, it's just gonna be Blake. I'm assuming just being a complete fucking psychopath on the
I'm
other end.
doing fine. Mind your business.
Anyways,
Ugh.
so let's go ahead and jump in, you travesty.
I'm a professional podcast host, sort of.
Hey everybody, we're back. It's been a minute. The biggest reasons why are because we have been working at a con again for the first time in a long time. So that
Woo!
is really exciting. We went to Anime Central 2026. We ended up how many? What was the count I got? Like 14 total interviews.
That's what you
That's
told me. I got them listed out here, but not in a way that's easy to say what number it
yeah,
was.
yeah. So
We got.
we ended up with
Did you
yeah.
include in 14? Was that including our artist interviews and our press interview? So we like for people listening at home, when we go to a convention as part of the press, we are able to sign up for our various interviews that are
Mm,
organized by the conventioneers. And sometimes,
conventioneers.
as we may discuss on this podcast, we end up getting even more of those official interviews than we signed up for
Yep.
being good boys. But we also will walk through Artist's Alley and try and find people who have really unique or interesting art, something that catches our
Yeah.
eye, and do a few
And
interviews. So,
also,
are you
yeah.
including the artists in those, or is it
Yeah.
14
So
plus?
we usually do technically two segments that we have named before. One is just our interviews. That's just going to be talent interviews or whatever interviews are coming from the con. We just call those interviews and we release them as episodes. The second thing that we've been doing for a really long time, basically as long as we've been doing cons,
Yeah,
has been our cosplay thing, which is Blake taking photos with cosplayers. He gets their permission first, and then we tag them on our Instagram and our other social medias.
yeah,
So as
and
long as they're cool with that, we'll post.
you can find those if you're listening, if you're interested. I guess if you're watching, you can look up Cos Blake on Instagram. So
Yeah.
it's like cosplay, but instead of play, you spell my name Blake. And I believe all the posts should have a hashtag as well, so you can search that hashtag. I have searched the hashtag before and not found our pictures, but it's also been like a long time removed
Yeah,
from our
that's
most
true.
recent cosplay. So I think maybe the algorithm was just like, I don't know what this is. Here's some stuff. But I bet if you
Mm.
searched it now, you could find it. I'm going to try it.
Yeah. And now we are doing what's called the Vendor Vault. That is going to be the different artists and vendors that are at the cons. We are going to be releasing interviews with them as well. I believe we ended up with 5 total. We've released one so far as of this recording onto YouTube, and that is with Japanime Games, where we did a um, kind of a preview walkthrough of their Cowboy Bebop deck builder game. It's really fun.
Yeah,
Um,
this
and
was this was great because we
I,
got the walkthrough from the guy who made Japanime Games. He like started the company,
mm-hmm,
and he
yeah,
was really enthusiastic and knowledgeable and clearly knew how to give a good walkthrough. It was great. If you guys
mm-hmm,
haven't checked it out, you should definitely check it out.
yeah. They've got a ton of other games. You should definitely check them out.
They had
The
so much
sushi game,
stuff.
it looks really fun too.
Oh my god.
Um,
Okay, so
yeah.
I gotta say, they are. So he was telling us that I don't know if this was in the interview, but he was telling us that he started the game company because he wanted to like localize Japanese games, um,
Yeah.
and
So
it
bring
wasn't.
them to the United States.
Yeah, it wasn't always anime specific necessarily. And so we saw this like adorable sushi game that, as far as I could tell, had no anime connection at all, but it had this little like track and these little like sushi disc pieces that you could push through, and sort of the game recreated the look of like one of those sushi conveyor belt restaurants, and it looked so cute. I was tempted to buy it just because of how cute it was, but then
Mm,
we had to do the interview and I had to be professional. But yeah, the
Mm.
Cowboy Bebop game was so cool, and Japanime Games they had like Cowboy Bebop playmats. I
Yeah.
believe they had a Cowboy Bebop role playing game that also had like a
Yeah.
special edition cover that was gorgeous. Like honestly, I
Mm-hmm.
kind of wanted to buy both of the books just to display them because the art was so beautiful. They had Avatar: The Last Airbender stuff. I saw Naruto and a couple other big anime names. And I kind of wish that we had gotten a chance to demo this. They had a new card game. I think he said it was their very first card game, and it was like the concept of the game was that you are an idol and you're trying to compete in various like content arenas to get
Yeah,
the
I think
most
it's like about
viewers.
VTubers.
Yeah, it is VTuber specific, and there are like real life VTubers who have collaborated with them
Mm-hmm.
to make the card game. Sorry, I'm googling it right now so that we can actually name check it. So it's called Oshi Push. OSHI space push. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a TCG. It came out pretty recently. I'm looking in here on japanimegames.com at Oshi Push, and it looks like it's pretty fresh. So if you want to get in on the ground floor of a VTuber TCG, it looked really fun, and we were just not able to get content of that, but we got the awesome Cowboy Bebop content, and you should go to their website because it's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I will say, this one is probably our best produced con coverage that we've ever done.
No,
That goes for Blake and I learning about it. The fact that Blake and I were actually wearing merch this time, which was helpful, because you'll see in the videos that we're wearing our Blake and Spencer Get Jumped hoodies. I don't have a way for people to buy those yet. But if you ever
they're
get
really
interested
nice
in that,
though.
let us know.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
want hoodies, let us know because they're cozy.
we were handing out stickers left and right. I started with a secret more amount than I thought. I got back and I counted my stickers. I was supposed to start with like 125, and I went back and counted, and I was like 110. That can't be. I handed out way more than 15. So it turns out the person that's like the sticker provider for us, sometimes they just overshoot it, and they will regularly give you just like extras inside of there. Mine appeared to be about 50 or 60 extras. Um,
Nice.
so yeah, so that was fun.
The stickers are also really cool. I don't know if there's a way for people to get those either, but they're cool. So I don't know.
Yeah.
See us at a con and we'll hand you one. They're awesome.
We do have plans for other cons. We also had another fantastic person that was part of our group. She was there doing media management for us, and
Helping
being
us
fantastic the whole
be
time.
professional
Yeah,
adults.
keeping us as good human beings that weren't just idiots wandering around a con.
Yeah.
And also a big shout out to Anime Central and their team that runs their press. They do a bang up job every time that we've been there. They're also very personable and
Mm-hmm.
nice. Do you remember the name of the person that was working with that team? That she appeared to be like everywhere we were, and just helped us out like countless times while we were there.
She was so
Oh
helpful, and
man.
I asked her name, and I didn't write it down. And
Oh
now it has
well.
been weeks.
Yeah.
Let
Well,
me see if I
we're
can
we're
find their
sending.
staff page because they were so nice.
Yeah, just to send out, some shout outs to them and their crew and they're working with, and then a shout out to a lot of the other media teams that we got a chance to chat with while we were there. Some of the talent comes with media managers, some of them come with like a little bit of an entourage. I'm not gonna throw out there the name of one of our interviews, but it's pretty fucking cool that we
Oh, are
got
we
to do an
keeping it a
interview with
secret?
them. Huh?
Are we keeping it a secret?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna eventually, talk about it out of nowhere. But until we get the go ahead to post, I'm just kind of keeping tight-lipped. Um, but yeah, it was a really fun con.
Uh,
Blake and I hung out back at the hotel a bunch. Um, just being dumb and I don't know, man. There's such like weird nostalgia for Chicago. It's like Blake and I lived there for a
Yeah,
couple of years each, and just like being back there just has like that vibe that I want to go for. And
yeah,
also like,
it's a magical
man, I
place.
the weird scene of like, going out to these amazing restaurants, and then afterwards we're like looking for shows, and I'm like, hey, I found this one, and it's like a Golden Girls drag show that's in like North Side Chicago.
Yeah,
um
and their air
it
conditioning
was
had gone
really
out
fun.
and it was sweltering, but also the drag queens like called us out at different points of the show. Not like called us out, but like there were parts of the show where they would have audience interaction, and so like at one point the actress or actress, I don't know, when they're in their drag personas, you usually use she, but I don't know if that translates to actor or actress. The performer playing Dorothy sort of like gave you a sort of sarcastic welcome, and then the performer playing Blanche flirted with me for a good minute and a half. Did like a whole flirtatious monologue just at me, and that was great. It was so much fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, Chicago was so much fun. I wish we had had more time to do the city thing. I think you were able to take a little bit more time than I was, but
Hmm.
I got some unexpected city time. My flight, so this was my not my first time
Oh yeah.
flying from Salt Lake City, but it was my first time flying Salt Lake City to Chicago. It did not go as planned on the flight out because there was a big delay. I don't really know if it was like weather or what, because I was flying relatively early in the morning. But somehow I was delayed, and my connecting flight was like a 56-minute flight to Las Vegas. And then I was supposed to be there for like an hour, and I was actually there for like 3 hours. And
Yeah.
I was supposed to get into Chicago at, I think, right before 7, right? Like I was thinking like, oh, you guys will go get food somewhere, and I'll be able to sort of like slide into the booth once I get in
Yeah,
town.
the trials and tribulations of flying into O'Hare in Chicago.
Yeah, so I actually showed up. I think I got to the hotel like 11:30, maybe later, and
Hmm.
had like leftovers that you guys had saved for me, and just, hung out for a few minutes. But also I'm in a new weird territory personally, where I've been pushing my bedtime and wake up time earlier, and I've been a night owl all my life, but now I am tired by like 10:30 p.m. because I
Yeah.
just am never awake at that point, which is going to be really weird because
Yeah.
this weekend is Pride here in Salt Lake City, and so I'm going to be trying to stay awake, but I'm also, in my mid to late 30s, and
Yeah. Old Lady Blake can't
am
stay up
used to
as late
going to
as he
bed.
used
Yeah,
to.
so I don't know what to do. So there's that. So then I was going to fly out of O'Hare on the Monday after the convention, and
Turns
we
out.
we had a nice little lunch. There were some storms rolling through, and I was like, So we had a nice little lunch, and then we went to the train line and separated as you were heading downtown, and I was heading to O'Hare. And I got
Yep.
there really early. I got there super early for my flight, but I was like, this way I'll be where I need to be. So uh, my flight was supposed to be like that afternoon. I think I was there at noon, and I want to say that my flight was at like 3 or 4 p.m. So I was super early, but the flight had gotten delayed. I pulled up my email as I was like training into the station, and my flight was delayed such that my connecting flight would have like a 20-minute turnaround, and I was changing planes. So that was not going to work. Actually, I think it was like an 11-minute turnaround, and I got to the desk and they were like, "Yeah, anything under 20 or 30 minutes, we like required to change your flight schedule." So I had checked in with the desk after I saw that, and they were like, So first of all, I walked up and I was like, "Hey, my flight got delayed, and I'm not gonna make my connecting flight. What can I do to change it?" and I handed them my ID, and they were like, "You're not flying today. You're flying tomorrow." And for the briefest of seconds, I was like, "I'm definitely flying today." I've made a lot of dumb mistakes in my life, but I'm pretty like double, triple, quadruple checky when I'm booking a flight because it's expensive and I don't want to mess with it. So I was like, I know for a fact that I'm flying today. Also, I just got an email that my flight today was delayed. So what gives? So I'm like, oh well, I'll pull up my email to confirm it and make sure that we've got like the right information. And then I saw that as I had stepped up to the desk, Southwest had automatically rebooked my flight to the next morning. And that's why. So I was like, yeah, so I have work tomorrow. I would really like to not have to find a place to stay in Chicago tonight unexpectedly and also take an unexpected extra day off of work tomorrow. So is there any flight that can get me there today? And she click 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 and she was like, there is no flight from O'Hare that can get you there today, but there is one tonight at like 9:45 p.m. from Midway, which if you don't know, Chicago is blessed with two airports, and they are at sort of opposite edges of the western part of the city. So O'Hare is kind of on the northwestern edge, and Midway is sort of down in the southwestern zone. So I was like, I've got time. I can do that. And I definitely toyed with the idea of trying to crash your party and hang out a little bit more. But I had all my
Yeah.
luggage and shit. And I was like, on a day of flight delays, I'm just going to get where I need to go. So I did know from living in Chicago that I could take the blue line all the way down to downtown, which is also where I used to work. And then I could hop on the brown line and take it all the way out to Midway, which is the airport that I used to fly out of when I lived there. So
Brown
that.
to the orange, you Chicago
Oh yeah, nope,
riding train noob.
nope. Sorry, I did this on the day too, where I was like, "It's the brown line." No, it's the orange line, and I kept making that mistake in my brain because I would ride the brown line to work sometimes. And I conflate the two. So yeah, so you ride the blue, then you hop
Also,
onto the
Blake
orange.
riding the brown line to work,
Shut up!
if you
Shut
catch my
up!
drift.
So I just took a really nice, like, I thought it was going to be like a 90-minute train ride. I think I actually got there in like an hour, but I rode through all the way down to downtown and hopped onto the correctly colored line to get me to Midway, and took the trip out there. But just riding that section of the loop that the orange line takes to um, before you get out, passing through the neighborhoods and stuff like that on towards the airport. It was so nostalgic. I actually teared up riding through it because it was just like, I see all these places that I walked or places that I stopped for lunch or, the bookstore that I used to go into sometimes when I wasn't ready to take the train ride home yet. And
Yeah.
it was just so nostalgic. And, I really like where I live now, but I definitely miss living in Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago's a really good city, and it's one of, like, Anime Central is one of those cons that's like, if you have the ability to get to it, it's now considered, I believe it's been considered for a couple of years, but it's the biggest Midwestern con. It's also one of the biggest cons in the United States for anime cons. And man, do they have a lot of people, lots of
They did.
cosplayers, lots of amazing cosplayers too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be posting those. The first one that we've posted so far, that was the first of our batch that we did, was this one with, it's like two different Ninetales, like the regular one and then the one from the lowland region. Um, and man, they're just so, I don't know.
We've
Wait,
also
is that
got to.
Galarian?
It's Alolan. No,
Oh, okay. I said it
you're
right the
correct the
first time.
first time. Yeah. And then we got some One Piece cosplay today that was
Yeah.
posted. I think this morning or maybe last night. I can't remember. Um, so yeah, these are coming out, and our Instagram is popping off right now because we have a bunch of content. So we're posting things about our interviews on Instagram, but we're also posting the cosplays there. So if you're not following us on Instagram and you are an Instagram person, go ahead and look us up there. I know, Spencer, you posted at least the first cosplay picture in our Discord. I don't want to pre-commit you to doing all of that, but Discord is
I will
always.
end up posting them all there, on our Twitter, our Blue Sky, and as well as on Reddit.
Yeah,
I usually drop them on Reddit on like the specific what people would want to see at a different place. So if it's like a One Piece, try to drop on the One Piece one. If it's like the Pokemon one, I dropped it on the Pokemon one. So check those out there if you want to see them, or just follow us on Instagram. We'd love to have you over there too, or join our Discord because people are definitely talking there.
It's
He
also
said, knowing they don't talk there right now.
they've been talking periodically, which is it's a little bit of a lull right now in the conversation. But yeah, I
Yeah.
will say we post when our episodes drop, but we also post about this kind of stuff. We posted before we went to the convention. We posted while we were at the convention, and we've been posting some stuff post convention, posting the posts. Yeah, what we're getting at is there's a bunch of places to check us out. If you're not following us and you would like to see this content, you should follow us on those things. And I think you really should see this content because I don't know about you, Spencer, but when we were at this convention, I had this moment where I was like, we're kind of pretty good at this. And I think sometimes we are dopey fools when we're putting this podcast together and we are just stumbling our way through it periodically. Sometimes we're really good at it, and I definitely enjoy listening to our episodes. So I think we're putting out something that's worth engaging with. But sometimes you and me are sort of doing our best. And at the convention, we were really on top of it. And part of that was that we had a three-man team instead of a two-man team, and that made things way, way easier. And I think freed you and I up to be a little bit more focused during the content creation portions of the day. But yeah, it was just so much fun, and also we got a lot of really, really good interviews. And yeah, we gave good interviews, I guess is what I'm getting at. I'm not trying to brag, but I just really like our conversational interview style, and we received perhaps sometimes indirectly some positive feedback on our interview style from some of the talent that we were able to interview. And yeah, I came away from it thinking like, hey, we're really good at interviewing people in this industry in ways that make them feel comfortable and welcomed and happy to discuss what we're discussing. And I think that makes for really good content. So if you're not following us, you should definitely follow us. Also on the Instagram front, uh, I'm not going to say that our Instagram is going to be popping off all the time because it's a lot harder to generate content when you're not at an anime convention doing press right now. But when we were at the anime convention, we were posting a bunch of stuff on our Instagram stories, which are temporary. So if you're not following us, then you may have missed some really cool stuff. So go ahead and follow us there.
Yeah. Well, that was it. That's our con. So,
I have one
um,
more thing that I have to talk about before we get off.
oh my God, I know what this is about.
Because we're recording this on June 2nd, I have to say out loud that hopefully we get our content approval and we can drop this interview before the show comes out or maybe right after. But we got to watch a new show that's coming to Disney Plus and Hulu on June 10th. And they're dropping all the episodes of season 1 on June 10th. And it looks awesome. The trailer is
Yeah.
great. The first episode was so good, and I have been foaming at the mouth to watch more of it ever since we saw the first episode. Also, the creators were very cool and very French, and we had a really good time talking to them and then incidentally running into them like 4 more times. But it was really awesome. So I'm
So
not going to
very light spoilers for this upcoming episode.
yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything about us talking to them or whatever because I don't know when that's coming out or what we have to have in place before you get to see that. And maybe there's a chance that will have dropped before this episode that we're recording now has dropped, at which point go watch that. But also, I just have to say, watch Dragon Striker. Check it out. It comes out on June 10th. I know in the streaming era that early watches are really, really important. And I feel connected to this because I felt like in a bank shot way, Spencer and I got to be a little bit of a part of it because we got to have that sneak preview and we got to have an interview with some of the people who made it, and maybe we also had an off the record conversation with some of the other people who made it. And it was really, really cool, but also it was a genuinely good show. It's a little intense at the beginning, but I would liken it to Avatar The Last Airbender. Number one, I think that the character designs and the sort of energy and feel of the show is really reminiscent of Avatar. So if you liked Avatar: The Last Airbender, I think that this is definitely worth checking out. But also, if you have children, I think that kids are going to really enjoy this, and I think that the team who created it had an eye on making something that was kid friendly, but they also wanted to make something that had like really cool and intense moments because they're also big anime fans. So I don't want to speak
Yeah.
for the whole series, but I will say for episode one, there was one moment where I was like, this is a little shocking for a Disney show, but overall, if you feel like your kid could watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, I think that they could check this out with you, and I think that you should watch it so that I can have more of it to watch personally.
All right. Well, with all that being said, stick with us after these credits, and we'll be back soon. Either you're going to be hearing from us directly on here, or you're going to start seeing our interviews that have been coming out. Like I said before, the Vendor Vault episodes have started to drop. I'm going to continue dropping those until we're out of them. But other than that, we should be starting to put out new interviews with these different talent and creators soon. So, see ya, I guess, next week.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Blake and Spencer Get Jumped. If you're interested in finding more episodes of our show, you can join us over at getjumped.buzzsprout.com. It has all of our links for our social media and for our Discord as well if you want to get involved and start chatting with us. Also, if you are interested in more content like Blake and Spencer Get Jumped, or you just want to read random musings on Blake's blog, you can go over to thegeeklygrind.com. You can get all of our episodes there as well as weekly content from Blake's blog. All right, see you next time.